All right. I think we're live. Now, if this is scrolling through your newsfeed, I have not done this maneuver in a while. If this is scrolling through your newsfeed and you can't hear me, stop and crank up your volume. Adam Urbanski here, also known as the Millionaire Marketing Mentor. And today we'll be talking about growth hacking, how to accelerate your business, how to accelerate your income and impact. And I've got 3 lessons plus a bonus point. So a total of 4 points, highlighting some mistakes that most people make, how to really find the fastest path to growth, impact, and a cash in your business. All right. So listen, if you're watching me live, obviously type in I'm here or live and type in where you're dialing from. I want to know that. And I'm going to see if I can dial in on my phone and figure it out in a moment. Number 2, if you're watching the replay, go ahead and type in replay. And, throughout this thing, comment and let me know and engage. Even if you are watching this on replay, we are, and so we, like myself and Lisa on our team and Bo, we always come back and engage with you and answer your comments and answer your questions. So even if you're watching the replay, don't be bashful about commenting. All right. We are here to support you. Number 2, in this community, the Planet Fastest Path to Cash, this is your obligation to comment. This is your payment for all the good stuff I'm sharing with you. All right. Here's my best version of whatever accent it was, admonition to, no, seriously, I want to, it's just like, I was born to make an impact. We all were born to make an impact. And I love teaching. I love supporting entrepreneurs. The point is, that the more you engage, the more you like and heart or whatever you do, the better we will do. Now, someone, please let me know. All right, I'm seeing my Facebook Live. Someone please comment. Yo, Diane, you're giving me a cold shoulder lately. What's up with that? I don't want to chase you, love. Come on. Are we on for next Tuesday? I want to share your story. I want to celebrate you. So let me know. I'm assuming you can hear me. So if you can type in a comment and you can hear me, that will be awesome. Now, meanwhile, while you guys are hanging out here, I've got to do one other thing, which is I totally spaced and didn't do that. I've got to dial into my actual part of why this is happening. I've got a community of clients and we support them every week through what we call action coaching calls. And as part of their action coaching calls, they get what I call a marketing teaching moment. This is this little thing, right? So every week I share with them, 10 minutes to half an hour of training. All right, let me get into my control panel and dial in. And in the training, they invest in this to be a part of it. And not all the time, but frequently, I'll actually pipe up that training, which again is a paid community for someone else. I pipe it into our fastest path to cash. That's why if you were ever invited to this community for me, if you were ever invited, Bo, I know you're watching. If there is any possible chance you could hook me up with my tea, which I left in the kitchen, that will be awesome. I'm definitely dehydrated. Thank you so much in advance. Listen, but yeah, if I ever invited you personally to be part of this community, I probably shared with you that I treat it kind of like a paid membership, except it's free. Except for you've got to comment and do whatever. All right. I'll DM you. Sorry. Awesome. All right. So I guess you hear me. Cool. Let me dial into my bridge line. I got to do this, guys. Sorry. And I got to start the other call, and then I'm going to get into my lessons. So it's totally back to, yes, I feel very welcomed. All right, let's turn the recording on. We got that going. And let's do really quick 30 seconds of my welcome music. You got good hours. And you can totally hear me. That is awesome. Long time no talk, and good to have you here. All right. Welcome to another edition of Action Coaching Call. And if you're watching this on Facebook Live, this is Marketing Teacher Moment. We'll talk about growth hacking, how to accelerate the growth of your business. For those of you dialing into Action Coaching Call, welcome to another edition of it with yours truly, Adam Urbanski, also known as the Millionaire Marketing Mentor, and so affectionately called by so many of you so many different things, as in the irreverent Reverend Dr. Professor Ninja Jedi Sensei Samurai, and master of all things marketing and persuasion. Try to say that a few times fast. Obviously, I had a few years of practice. All right. So on an action coaching call, star 2 to get yourself in the queue, or type in your question in the question box, and we will get there when we will get there. Meanwhile, all right, let me do the lesson here. All right. So once again, If you live, type in live where you're dialing from. If you're watching a replay, same thing. Just type in replay and where you're watching this from. You know, it was inevitable that with my focus on fastest path to cash, sooner or later, I had to venture into a topic of growth hacking. Now, growth hacking kind of is a sexy term. For those of you who got my email earlier today about this, you know, I kind of likened it to throwing spaghetti against the wall and watching what sticks, but in a little bit more organized way with more purpose, you know, more focus and more tracking, because when you track, you can actually see this is working, this is not working. I want to do more of this, I want to stop doing that. That is essentially what growth hacking is. I think a different terminology for it would also be um, you know, growing your business on a shoestring budget. How can you actually acquire clients, generate sales, have revenue, have income, make impact on people without having to spend major bucks on advertising, right? This is where technology companies, a lot of startups really shine when they are in this money hungry mode. They figure out how do we acquisition clients for whether it's a software as a service, SaaS, or some sort of gizmo or whatever. How do they do this, right? So today you see things like crowdfunding and so on and so on. All of those are examples of growth hacking. So again, I've got 3 lessons with kind of a 4th point, which is very important, which nearly everyone that wants to scale a business gets tripped by it unless they make a conscious decision not to. Yours truly, I have F that step royally a number of times. All right, Bo, I don't know if you heard me, but I would still love it. If you can bring the tea, I would so love it. I would just love you even more if it's possible. By the way, today we did, for the first time, my return to P90X. If you don't know what P90X is, look it up. My first time I did P90X, I think it was 8 years ago. I lost 30 pounds in 90 days. Didn't know I had 30 pounds to lose. I don't want to lose 30 pounds this time. I don't have them anymore. But man, we just kicked booty this morning. My daughter, my wife, and I, we did P90X 45 minutes of insane stuff. I'll be probably extremely sore tomorrow. But all right, let's get back to our growth hacking. Those are my notes. Let's go. So number one of the biggest lessons I always impart with people, and have since I've been in business, is that there is no such a thing as a shortage of money. If you know my story, you know you've got to believe it. I came to this country with $194 freaking dollars and turned it into a 7-figure business in a decade, and I sold it, right? I've been broke more than once. I've never been poor. I've been broke more than once. Had no problem recovering my money or making a boatload more of it. There is no such a thing as a shortage of money. There is no such a thing as a shortage. Thank you so much. As a shortage of clients. There is only a shortage of money making and marketing strategies in action. All right. Again, there's no shortage of ideas. Ideas are a dime a dozen, but there is such a thing as a shortage of money making and marketing strategies, client acquiring strategies in action. So now, how do you know what works and what doesn't work, right? The foundational principle of growth hacking. How do you quickly find out what actually works, what doesn't work? So step number 1 is you've got to have something that people really want to buy. You've got to create, and I don't want to say a product, but an offer. An offer is different than a product. I've talked about it in the past. Maybe I'll come back and talk about it again. But again, you've got to have an offer that people actually want to buy from you. Without an offer, nothing else works. By the way, Bo, remind me the next time, I've got to announce these lives earlier. Because, by the way, all the important people are here, and you guys are awesome, or I should say ladies. You ladies are awesome. But I know that in the past we had a lot more live participants as well. Nothing wrong with not having them. But I think it's just giving people heads up. Maybe a little bit longer than 25 minutes would probably help. Anyway, squirrel. By the way, you know that my teaching, these Facebook Lives in this community, has been a way of growth hacking for me, identifying which topics people are resonating with the most. All right. So over the last probably 9 months, I've tested probably at least 20, 25 topics. And I know just by the factor of how many views they got, which ones are the ones that really, or which ones got the most engagement, which ones are the ones that really fired people up and got their attention. So, jinx, 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 jinx. Those are the topics I need to be covering more. Those are the topics, I teach more internally to my clients because obviously that's where the need is. All right. So create a killer offer first. Nothing starts without it. So two principles. You must sell first and create second. Actually, just one principle. Sell first, create second. It's been many, many years since I have created anything without having it sold first. Now, why do I do that? Because it allows me to go through three waves of research, if you will. Three waves of research. Wave number one, I engage with my market and I ask questions about what interests them, what pains them, what solutions are they looking for that they can't acquire, how dire is their problem, how long have they looked for solutions, what are the price points that I explored. Again, what's working, what's not working. That allows me to formulate a hypothesis, and then I go, okay, this is my offer. So that was survey, or I shouldn't say survey is a vehicle, but it's really questioning, it's inquiring with my audience. And you will see that I have a way of doing it pretty much all simultaneously almost. I'll talk about it in a moment. So that's step number one. Interview your audience in advance to figure out what they would want. Then take inventory of what you have and package it in an offer that you can deliver. This is when you ask for the sale. Now, when people buy from you, this is when you unleash a second wave of inquiry and you say, look, congrats, you win this program. Now, look, we've got it all figured out. By the way, sometimes it's true. Sometimes you don't have shit figured out. You just knew how to make a sale. Now you go, oh shit, I got to deliver, right? So, but to your audience, you don't want to deplete the confidence in you. And again, this isn't about lying. This is about just finding an elegant way of harvesting the information you need to be of most value to those who invested with you. So the second wave of question is people that have bought from you. Then you say, look, awesome, congrats. Now look, what are one or two or three top things that you want to absolutely ensure that will happen for you during our engagement? When you consume whatever you bought from me, what do you want to make sure that we absolutely knock out of the park? Now, that is just so simple and it's so genius, because if you give people exactly what they wanted, maybe a little bit more, I call it strategically over-delivering. Like, so people go and they want this, and you say, all right, well, maybe I can't quite give you this, but I can give you this. And they go, all right, this would still be great. And then you give them that, they go like, whoa, holy smoke, this is the best program ever, right? But you've given them exactly what they ask for, maybe manage expectations a little bit. And then the third wave is when people graduate from whatever, or they finished consuming your whatever you sold. Then you go with the third wave and go, look, looking back, would you buy it again? What worked? What didn't work? What recommendations would you have for me to tweak it or improve it? Right? Sometimes it's called an NPS, Net Promoter Score, where you're kind of looking, who are the people that are your raving fans? Who are the people that were kind of satisfied but not raving fans? And who are the ones who you failed completely? And how do you need to now fix your program for the next wave of clients so it's better? So that's the first thing. Sell first, create second. In a big business concept, remember this: make money first, build business second. Unless you're building Facebook and you want to go public or whatever. So many, to every Facebook, there is 1,000 companies that started, even tech companies that started by finding a way to serve the clients better and then finding the way to automate. So the big point here is you can't multiply, you can't delegate, you can't automate, you can't accelerate until you validate. That is your first goal in business. Offer that sells, and you must validate it. Now, beyond that, here are the two functions you must put into business immediately. Function number one, client fulfillment mechanism, meaning when people buy from you, how are you going to deliver the results you promised? And by the way, in a service industry like consulting and coaching, our industry is notoriously effed up when it comes to delivering on the promises. We just don't. And actually, I shouldn't say we, because I'm fixing it. I've largely fixed it in my business. Not that I'm saying that perfect, but I've largely fixed it. All right. But notoriously, our industry, has 90% failure rate. Imagine 9 out of 10 cars rolling off the assembly lines, failing to deliver a passenger to the destination safely. All right. That's why the lemon laws were passed back in the 80s, because so many cars were defective, and it wasn't even 90% failure rate. Our industry has 90% failure rate. Miserable. Largely because our industry has failed to put in any type of understanding about client fulfillment process. You must have it in place. Second thing, obviously, in order to fulfill, you need to have a client acquisition process. So how are you going to acquire those clients? Big thing. So let's go back. Number one was sell first, create second. You must have a killer offer. Number two then is create what I call people-powered program. People-powered program. This is an extension of that first step, because what I see a lot today is somewhere, how industry is polluted with shysters and hooksters who just want to sell you on a dream. It's like, you just do nothing. Here's an easy button. Just push the button and your computer becomes an ATM, and just $100 bills are rolling out when you sleep. You don't need to do anything. And in fact, the less you deal with your clients, if you never talk to them, the better. The clients are just losers over there. They're just with fat wallets. As long as you get to the wallets, who cares about them? Man, all this course creation, look, courses are valuable, right? You need to, not everybody's in the place where they're ready to take action. People want to have courses as well. We need to acquire information. So I'm not beating up on courses. I'm not beating up on programs where you're not necessarily hands-on with clients. But look, you can't be teaching someone methodology without actually knowing that this methodology works. Like, most people just wake up one day, read a couple of books, come up with a bunch of shit, put it together and go, okay, here's my course. Here's how you do it. Well, have you ever done this? Have you ever made sure that it works? Has it even worked for you once? Well, no, but I just want to teach course. You can't do that. So people-powered program first, right? Or people-powered product. And by the way, lots of companies have done this. Airbnb. I don't know if Uber has done this. I'm trying to think of a couple of companies, like the company called Blue Apron that delivers pre-cooked meals. If you look back and look at the history, they essentially, Zappos, sold for $1 billion shoe selling company. You know how Zappos got started? Tony Hsieh, one of the co-founders, was brought in and it was like, hey, we've got this idea. We're going to sell shoes online. You know what he did? He put up a basic crappy website. He went to shoe stores, like local physical shoe stores, asked them if it's okay to take pictures and sell shoes because he wants to send them to someone. And they said, well, go ahead. So he photographed them on the shelf in the store, then added them to like basic website, just added a few categories of shoes. And then when people ordered, you know what he did? He went back to that store, purchased the shoes, and shipped them to the client. There was no automation, no super selection. It was as manual as it gets. It was to validate the idea. People-powered process, people-powered product, people-powered program. Put your elbow grease into this. Make sure that it actually works. Now, this is why this is amazing, because having this much connection with your audience, right, actually allows you to truly discover what's working, what's not working, what do they truly want, where are the kinks in your methodology, what do you need to still figure out. And again, this is, as a business, you will continue the improvement process. It's a never-ending loop. It's not like you just did it once or twice and it's like, ta-da, we have arrived, because everything changes. So you will continue this. You must have in your business build in that feedback loop that allows you to continuously communicate with customers. All right. Famous saying for growth hackers, do that which doesn't scale. Here's simple ideas. When you first connect with people on Messenger, don't do it as a first message, but like first message, send text and say hello. Second message, put that little record button and actually record a video. And just say, hey, so awesome to connect with you. Just wanted to put a face to our connection. Looking forward to hanging out with you. That's it. You just talk to 10 seconds. It's just that quick. Now, look, you can handle a bunch of them in a day. Can you do it for 1 million people? Can you do it for 10,000 people? No. But can you do it for the first few hundred to create this incredible connection? Absolutely. By the way, let me stop here and mention something very, very important. Because what I'm describing, people often confuse and say, well, this is great if you're a service professional. This is great if you are, a coach, a consultant. This is great if you're brand new. And I call BS on all of that. All right. Number one, a company like Basecamp, Jason, forget his last name, Fries, I think. Um, when they were building Basecamp, the productivity software, they were funding the business. Actually, they were a consulting company first, and then they needed to find a way to manage the project. So they started Basecamp. Many SaaS, software as a service companies, many technologies companies validate their ideas or generate cash flow by selling consulting slash coaching services first. All right. Second thing, if you establish company and you want to launch something new, what is faster than going to your community and saying, hey, we're going to work with a handful of you and just do kind of a beta program. We're going to validate this, right? Before we automate, before we delegate, before we accelerate, we want to actually validate that it works, that it delivers results. We're going to work extra hard, to pile on value for you because you're going to become a beta participant. And then, you're going to give us feedback, what worked, what didn't work, how to improve it. So this isn't just for newbies. This isn't just for service professionals. This just simply freaking works. Create your people-powered offer and sell them first, all right? So those are my first two steps. Second thing, this is where real growth, actually, let me come back. So the second step is really your client fulfillment system, right? In the second step, you're really trying to figure out what worked. When I promise you this and you pay me money for this, can I actually deliver on my promises? Can I make it happen? And by the way, you will fail. There will be times where you will not deliver on your promises. And this is where you go back and try to fix it and go, okay, what did we go wrong? Is our solution to a problem a mismatch? Is our system not quite as it needs to be? Did we get our sequence out of sequence, our steps out of sequence? You go back and fix this. It's just that simple. All right, let's see what's going on here. Bo loves me, but I already know that. Katie, long time no see. You haven't been here for a while. The software used to display this on the screen, and I think with Facebook privacies, now I can't see my comment on the screen. Kind of annoying. Lisa, of course, loves me as well, but I knew that as well. Love you back. All right. Let's see if anybody else didn't say hi. We'll come back and beat you up later. All right, moving on. Step number 3 is now the client acquisition process or system. And you need to figure it out how to do it as quickly as possible and as inexpensively as possible. And again, there are stages like acquiring your first few customers, then multiplying your client acquisition, and eventually, I shouldn't say that, I should look, getting your first paying clients, the first few, accelerating your client getting process, right? Or systematizing, figuring out what works so you can do it over and over again. And then is scaling your client acquisition process. That is essentially what scaling a business means in the first place. If you can't scale your marketing, you don't have shit. People are building teams and hiring coaches and doing all sorts of things. And then they go like, oh, this is awesome. I've got a big team. Well, how do I feed them? Well, you didn't scale your marketing first, right? By the way, I'm guilty of those things myself. I've made those mistakes in the past. I'm still making them sometimes. So listen, this isn't all like, I've got it all figured out. Just being totally blunt and honest here. All right. Here's the problem with current state of marketing. Something insane like 80% of people don't answer the phone. Email rates, open rate, I think the statistics are something like less than 20% open rate. And by the way, 20%, that's a good rate. I think a lot of people would be happy to have 10% open rate. Click-throughs are dismal. And conversions on websites for building emails are just horrible. There's something like less than 3% on average. Now this is, again, you can have direct opt-in pages where they will have 40, 50, 60, 70, 80% opt-in rate, but you're going to have opt-in pages on things like content upgrades for blogs and so on. Your opt-in boxes on your homepage, they'll typically get 1, 2, 3%. If you get 5, you're going to be dancing from happiness. They're not huge conversions. On the top of that, what happens is technology disconnected people. And as fast as technology is in terms of introducing us to ideas, it's also very fast in killing connection. We feel more disconnected than ever. This is where you have the advancement of what's called conversational marketing. This is where Facebook messaging is so powerful right now. This is where Twitter at first, a few years back when it started, was so awesome because you could converse with anybody in the world. You could have access to them before marketers fucked it up. All right. But Messenger on Facebook right now is one of those conversational marketing tools. This is where you have nearly all the websites right now that actually are worth their salt. You will see they have the little messenger boxes coming up. It's like, hey, we are here. If you have a question, real instant time. Now, look, there are beautiful things about conversational marketing. Number one, let me just remove this is not scalable obstacle. Yes, it is, because everything is driven by artificial intelligence. You can actually connect bots and scale it. So eventually you can train your little messenger thing to do, to acquire, qualify clients, acquire, qualify, and convert prospects into clients on autopilot. But you've got to do it manually to figure out how it works to start with, right? So that's number one, it's scalable. Number two, it's actually how humans operate. You and I get together to shoot the breeze and we have conversation. Hey, how are you doing? Hey, how are you doing? What are you up to? What are you looking for? Like, what are you excited? What are you worried about? We have a conversation. So what's so difficult about getting this? Just have a conversation with someone. Ask them, hey, what are you trying to accomplish? What trouble are you running into? What solutions are you looking for? Rapid information acquisition, rapid market research, all right? Another thing about it is that it dramatically shortens the client acquisition timeline. If you, instead of going from weeks or even months, weeks and days, you can go to client acquisition to hours. Like you meet someone, you message them, before you know it, you're on the phone and they're giving you the credit card. It can be as quick as hours, right? Conversational connection. Obviously, engagement goes through the roof. You're actually engaging with someone one-on-one, not a robot. Conversation, real engagement. And finally, very important, you've got an ongoing built-in feedback loop. Like they're letting you know instantly. If you send something and then they stop replying, they start engaging with you, you go like, okay, where did I go wrong? What did I push too hard? Did I say the wrong thing? Now with the very next person, you can already modify it. So you're constantly testing and tweaking. In my case, I'll be very honest with you, I actually have a number of email drafts open in my Gmail account. And those email drafts have foundations of scripts for me. So I can have multiple conversations very quickly, not automated, manual. I am having them and I modify those scripts. I'm personalizing them. But the foundations of certain things that I want to share, I have them pre-written. By the way, for those of you in RRI, you get access to some of those scripts. Hey, Michelle, awesome to see you here. Louise, awesome to see you here. All right. Let's see. Where do I want to go next with it? Oh, I know what I wanted to say with you. So what you need to, here's, I actually talked about it in our group the other day that when I started in my coaching business, consulting business, a traditional client acquisition system was like this. Capture someone's attention, like meet them at their networking meeting, then you capture the business card. And the second step was convert them. Like you got the business card, you look at the business card, you don't even read it. You go like, oh my God, we have so much synergy. We totally have to get together for a cup of coffee and explore the possibilities. AKA, I want to sell you my shit. You should run now. All right. That was the client acquisition methodology. Capture and convert. And people still do this today on the website. You go to the website and the first thing is schedule your appointment. AKA, I want to sell you my shit. What's wrong with you? Why aren't you opting in? Hello, you're on my website. I want to sell you. Bye, 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 bye. Horrible, right? And then we expect people to just convert somehow. Instead, elongate the process in terms of the actual process and steps, but you can truncate it in timeline because of instant messaging. So you don't even have to go with capture. Capture can be replaced by identifying. You want to identify the highest possible potential, highest probability potential clients. So part of growth hacking is you really getting crystal clear. Who can I serve the best? Who can I support? And by the way, this isn't about demographics, psychographics. This isn't about, have they been in business for 7 years? How many employees, how much revenue? This is really, this is the client, idea, the perfect prospect persona for 21st century, for social media age. You're identifying what are some characteristics you're looking for that are visible that will give you a clue this is a good person to engage with. So you identify, number one. Number two, you actually connect. Hello, what a novel concept. Like, you don't go to a party and just go buy my shit. You go to a party and connect with people like, hey, how are you? How did you end up here? How do you know the host? How did you get here? By bus, by boat, by plane? Did you walk? Hey, what dish did you bring in if it's a potluck, right? Which one is your dish? Oh, you got kids. Oh, you married. Oh, you're single. Blah, 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 blah. Man, I love that shirt. Man, where did you get that? Right? In the best situation, you don't even ask people what it is that they do until some point later. Like, connect first and then qualify. This is another big point that people just go, catch, convert. No, identify, connect, qualify, and then connect to convert in the last step. And if they're not qualified, you don't even offer to connect beyond the whatever connection you have. Because look, you can be friends with someone and they can become potential clients later on, but right now they may not be in a good place. And you're doing them a disservice, wasting their time. You're doing yourself a huge disservice, wasting your time if you're chasing them and offering them to try to be clients with you. All right. All right. H-N. Ann. By Ann. All right. Let's see what else I want to tell you. Final thing. 4. Point number 4. This is probably, out of all the things I shared with you, the fact that people build infrastructure and then they try to figure out how to make money, right? So they build business, make money next. Reverse it. Make money first, build business second. The big mistake is that people try to figure out automated, scalable courses and stuff without even having a valid method to deliver freaking results. Don't make this mistake. People-powered program, product, process first. People-powered first. All right? This is what allows you to really figure out a robust client fulfillment mechanism, client fulfillment system. Number 3, client acquisition system. Engage in conversational marketing. So one of my favorite methodologies we teach our clients right now is what I call spotlighting. It's essentially cold calling for the 21st century. Cold calling for the social media age. It's how to go from cold contact to warm connection to high-paying clients in as little as hours. I have not seen faster way to acquire coaching consulting clients without paying ads, for ads, without funnels, without any complexity. Identify, connect, all right? Contact cold people that you cold prospects, connect with them to develop relationship, and you can convert them into high-paying clients again in as little as hours. Most of the time days, but hours possible. So that's number 3, your conversational marketing. Fourth thing, the last thing is this. Right now, you have to decide, as you are learning to growth hack, as you are learning to either take your business to whatever, first 6 figures or multiple 6 figures, and as you are, listening to these ideas and trying to put them in place, you've got to decide one thing immediately. Are you focusing on lifestyle or scaling? Lifestyle or scaling? It's really hard to do both. Let me tell you what I mean by this. Most people, what they do is they acquire a little bit of a momentum and some profits. They immediately blow it on lifestyle. I've made this mistake many times. And what really, how do you accelerate the growth? And how do you go beyond growth hacking? You take your profits and you reinvest them back in the growth. You reinvest them in a team, in marketing, in systems and processes. So that is scaling. If you want to scale, scaling costs money. That's why companies go and get investments, because they can grow, but if they want to scale, it costs money. If they don't have the money, they got to go and borrow it, often giving up ownerships. In coaching consulting businesses, not that easy to get investors, right? Because there's nothing else except what's in your head. So you have to reinvest your money. That's why, some of my most successful clients, they actually worked a job until they had like $500,000 to $1 million in revenue in the businesses. And you think, well, this is crazy. Why would I work for somebody else? Because their paycheck paid for their life. Whatever they've made in the business, they piled right back in the business. That's how they scale. All right. So you've got to make a decision. Are you just buying yourself a better lifestyle and everything that comes in, you're going to put back into your lifestyle, which is an option. Just realize you're going to permanently stay in the growth hacking mode, right? Which is great, but it's labor intensive. Or you're going to focus on scaling. And if that's the case, you've got to continue your whatever lifestyle you had, modest, maybe even sacrifice more. I shouldn't say sacrifice. Just, manage your lifestyle more because you can live amazingly on a fairly small budget and reinvest your profits, your early profits back into scaling your business. All right. I was really thinking this is going to take me 15 to 20 minutes. It took me 35. So I got to jet and coach a few of our clients. Ladies and gents, thank you for all the loves and likes and hearts. I appreciate that. Engage in conversational conversation. Bo, you are awesome. All right, ladies and gents, I would love to have your feedback. By the way, if you want to be part of our revenue, in the last 90 days, I have to ask Bo. Let me check a message here. I asked her just before I got on. In the last 90 days, the last group of our clients, where's your message? We made an average for our clients $54,700.45. It's an average. In 90 days, and on average, our clients brought in $54,000, which I think is pretty much on par with traditionally what we've done over the last year. We've done this for over 100 people in the last 12, 15 months. $54,700 on average in new revenue for our clients. If you would like to make that much on average, I don't know if we can help you, but you've got to reach out and ask us. All right. If you would like us to show you how we do this without funnels, often without websites, without complex processes, just a little bit of elbow grease to accelerate your business, whether you want to get yourself into your first 6 figures or you want to multiply your 6-figure business, come to us and play in our RRI game, baby. We'd love to support you. All right. I'm out for now. Adam Ravatsky, the Millionaire Marketing Mentor. Thanks for being here. And until next time, cheers.